The official news story. Then we'll play what you sent. This is crazy.
Can I set up the clip?
Yeah.
So here in lovely America, 'cause everybody saw this clip already. So the cops may or may not have murdered a UPS driver.
No. They murdered. Not only that.
I'm just trying to. They may
and a civilian in another car.
They may or may not have murdered 2 civilians yesterday.
So this is the news story.
Now to a wild story out of Florida. A frantic 20-mile police chase near Miami that ended with a shootout on a busy highway. Just terrifying sounds there as police shot it out with 2 alleged armed robbers. That was yesterday. Both suspects were killed along with their hostage and another person caught in the crossfire.
That's not a good. That's not a good, like, outcome, right? Like, if you're a police captain,
that would be the worst of an outcome. Like, if you were playing a video game, you would fail because you can't kill a hostage.
Oh my God, you're right. If you were playing GTA, it would be like mission failed.
Mission failed.
And it used to spawn back. You're right. But no, if you're a cop, right, you don't go home that day and go, hey, you know what we are, honey? Sometimes we're just heroes. It's like that's one of those days you go home and you're like, ooh, nothing went our way today.
Our lead national correspondent, David Begnaud, is at the scene in Miramar, Florida.
He seems excited, according to his nipples.
David, good morning. That video.
Somebody's pointing out, too, they literally hid behind civilian vehicles.
Yeah. No. This is...
I swear to God, man, Broward County.
It started in Miami, so these are Miami police officers. It ended in Miramar, Florida. It was 20-mile chase down 8th Street, basically.
I know it was started in Lauderdale, and then I didn't know where it ended up.
Tony, you look at that video and you wonder how the person who recorded it was able to keep their composure given what was happening right in front of them. Our CBS Miami station reports as many as 200 rounds may have been fired by police at the UPS van in order to take down the suspect.
But there was a hostage in it.
Can I say something? In order to take down the suspects and the innocent UPS driver, who I'm also hearing was filling in for somebody.
Yeah. Day off.
Remember, this all happened in 5 o'clock traffic. It started south of here at a jewelry store. The suspects went in, attempted to rob it, got into a shootout.
Does this guy do blow? I'm sorry. I don't.
Miami reporter? Yeah, probably.
He's got that vibe to him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not besmirching you, sir, but this is a very tragic situation. It's very sad. And you're like, pop, 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 pop. Like, who's that guy from yesterday? And it goes, pop, 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 pop.
Pop, 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 yeah.
You are way too jazzed up for this. And then the car came, and it was a UPS truck, and he was like, boom, 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 and the cops were like, plow, plow. All right, thank you, Tony.
Of here at a jewelry store, the suspects went
anyway,
in.
I started blasting.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Dude, somebody has to make that meme for us right now, please. The Miami Police Department.
Yeah, it started blasting.
So anyway, I can't see so good, so I started blasting.
Attempted to rob it, got into a shootout with the gun with the store owner, then hijacked the UPS van. They start driving north, and apparently they put the hostage, the UPS driver, in the middle of the front part of the truck. He's on his knees during the chase, which ends right here when the suspects hit traffic, and they could go no further. And that's when the cops moved.
He's got to be on something, right? This is a weird way to tell this. Is this a weird way to tell this story? It's an odd choice of tone, right?
It's like excited, like sort of excited.
He's telling this story the way a child would. Like, you know when a kid sees something like that and they have no real perspective or point of reference, they don't understand the concept of death yet at that age. So they go, Mommy, I was out at the store today and the policemen were shooting and the UPS guy, because they just don't get it. He's telling his story that way, where you're like, hey man, UPS driver and a commuter were murdered. Accidentally killed by the police. Let's dial it down a little bit.
I'm still not sure this isn't a Bill Hader character.
Police swarmed the busy intersection in Miramar, Florida, as they closed in on the 2 armed suspects and the driver they had abducted.
To be fair, too, Maureen,
did they know? But did they know the driver was in? Because I'm honest. I'm trying to figure this out. Were the cops aware they had a hostage?
I see that. I don't know.
But even if there was, let's say that they didn't know. That's a busy street that they're on.
Yeah, they still killed somebody in a car.
200 rounds?
I mean, now I will say this, because I think Maureen in the chat said something too about, let me see if it says, why did the police start shooting anyway? Was the driver in imminent danger from the robbers? Again, I don't know if they knew he was in there, but suppose you're the cops, right? And you got a whole metro police department. Fucking UPS driver gets trucked, carjacked, whatever. There's a chase, there's a robbery. There's a lot of chaos going on. Isn't one of the things you immediately try to lock down is, do we have that UPS driver? Did they throw him out of the truck? Or is he still in the truck? I need to know where, because that's one of the first things my brain would go would, are we cleared of a UPS driver in that truck? Is it just bad guys? Okay, then fucking let's light this truck up. But if I feel like they just lit the fucking truck up. And I will say this though, it did look like they were firing out from the truck at the cops. So
no, I'm not saying
I'm just saying, because some people were like, well, they just shot into the truck. And I'm like, no, I did see some clips where they were shooting out of the truck, but like, man, they just fucking, and they lit it up like in a circle. So like all the other rounds are going off. Like this is.
Started in Coral Gables, about 24 miles away, after the two suspects attempted to rob a jewelry store.
You heard in the back alley about 8 to 10 rounds fired.
The armed suspects got into a gunfight with the store owner, injuring one of the employees before fleeing the scene, reportedly with some of the diamonds. Right after that, they hijacked a UPS truck and took the driver hostage.
I think we can agree, too, not the best getaway vehicle.
No, probably the worst.
I worked for UPS years ago, and yeah, let's just say those trucks are not, especially the older ones.
They're not great.
Dude, you can't even go up a hill with them. Like, if the hill's too steep, the truck's like, yeah, I'm not even. It's not like a matter of, is the truck going to tilt? The engine and the drivetrain, if you're going up a big enough hill, it's like, no, I'm simply not doing this. I'm not capable of this.
Somebody says, you'll get caught up in the crossfire.
Come on.
Crossfire!
They led police on a high-speed chase, swerving around vehicles multiple times to avoid capture. But when they hit bumper-to-bumper traffic, they had no option but to stop. And that's when the police moved in, appearing to use some of the bystander vehicles as shields.
And how many people do you think, because, Miami's full of spoiled rich cunts, how many of them you think were calling UPS that night? This is unacceptable.
Of course.
Like, I'm... Seriously.
It's not going to get here for Christmas time.
I mean, come on. This is a fucking joke now. They're going to have to reship it. Oh, it's evidence now? Come the fuck on.
I pay for Prime shipping.
As they fired at the UPS van.
Whoa.
The armed suspects engaged law enforcement, opened fire, and unfortunately, the suspects are now deceased.
A senior law.
No. It's not unfortunate. It's not.
No, unfortunately, the UPS driver is deceased.
That's what's unfortunate.
Unfortunately, some other guy in a car, probably some random guy who was just going to get some Cuban food, got shot in the face as well.
Law enforcement source confirms to our Miami station that the 19 officers who opened fire on that UPS truck worked for 5 different agencies.
So they probably weren't even communicating with each other. 5 different agencies, 19 officers. They probably weren't communicating with each other.
Well, I have a thought. Mm-hmm. Maybe. How many years has it been since 9/11? And we were supposed to fix all that?
It's 18 years.
Okay, great. We were supposed to fix all that.
No, we didn't.
I feel like if you're in a place like, let's say, the southern part of Broward, the northern part of Miami, there's going to be a lot of overlap of law enforcement activity. So wouldn't it be best to, I don't know, have radios with channels where you're all on them?
Good question. People are just wondering, to be fair, how many wanted stars did they have on them?
This is looking like a 4.
4. There was no helicopter.
There's no helicopter, no tank.
So 4.
4. That's a rough 4.
After
That's 4 on hard mode.
Yeah.
At least one body was visible next to that vehicle. The gunfight killed an innocent bystander who was in their car nearby. And we've learned the other victim.
By the way, when they say stuff like the gunfire,
that means cop. Because
if it was one of the suspects, they would have said it's one of the suspects
killed it. Yeah,
but they said the.
To be fair, they may not be able to determine yet who shot him.
They will, though.
They will, and it'll probably be the cops. I mean, you know, the robbers did get some shots off, but the cops got how many again? 200?
Yeah, 200 shots.
The odds, I'm just saying statistically,
right?
You got killed by a cop in this scenario.
Is the abducted truck driver, 27-year-old Frank Ordonez.
Our condolences go to the families of the deceased of today's unfortunate.
I hate the dehumanizing language they use this nowadays. And they do. Here's why they do it, right? They do it because of outrage culture. They do it because of lawyers. They do it because everybody has a lawsuit. Everybody's like, you can't even, like, the whole system is just full of robots now. They're all drones. Like, when you go out and a fucking 27-year-old UPS driver who was filling in for another guy on his day off gets murdered, and another bystander gets murdered by the cops over what? Some diamonds and a truckload of UPS shit? Let's be fair.
I don't even think they wanted the UPS shit. I just think that's the first truck that they saw.
I get it, but I'm just really summarizing that a bunch of innocent people are dead over some diamonds. It's really fucked up. Now, I get it. You got to catch. I get that the cops have to do their job, but 2 innocent people are dead, and it's just like, yes, and obviously, you know, well, obviously our thoughts go out to the families of the deceased, who we like to say deceased because it just sounds like you don't exist. It sounds much, much better than our cops gunned you down on your way home from work.
Yesterday was apparently Frank's first day as a solo truck driver. He had just completed his training. Listen, there are a lot of people this morning, many of them on social media, raising questions about whether the police were right to fire as many shots as they did into open traffic with a lot of bystanders.
The answer's no. Yes?
Oh, I was also just going to say no. I was no.
It's no.
Are we on a no?
Yeah.
Hey, say in the chat.
Comment down below if it's no.
You. Comment down below if that's true. If policemen shouldn't murder innocent UPS drivers.
Anthony, the head of the local police union, the Miami-Dade Union, was very clear in telling the Miami Herald the suspects opened fire first, and that's why the officers did.
You know, the crazy part is they, because it's a 20-mile chase, they actually drove by my sister's house because she was saying, I walked outside and it was just, she says
you can
it
hear
felt
it
like 100 cars. It wasn't 100 cars. It felt like 100 cars, like just going. It's a 20-mile chase.
Well, yeah, 20 cop cars sounds like 100 cop cars
Yeah.
when all their fucking sirens are blaring and they're going fast. But yeah, I do. I love this whole thing. Now many people are having a conversation as to whether or not the cops should use white phosphorus in urban areas. And you're like, no. And then I love the way he just goes, and then he goes, the cops, the Miami-Dade Police Department would like to stress that these guys started it. Did you hear it? Like, he basically said the suspects opened fire first. Like, basically they murdered 2 innocent civilians, and their answer for it is, well, they started it.
The head of the local police union, the Miami-Dade Union, was very clear in telling the Miami Herald the suspects opened fire first, and that's why the officers did what they did.
It is the most South Florida kickoff to Christmas ever.
So this is a Spanish station?
This was this is why I recorded this, right? This was a great angle. This shit went out live on TV, right? I don't know how many people went out live on TV because, you know, white people news is really boring nowadays.
Spanish news isn't.
And Spanish news is still like, no, here's them shooting it out with the cops. So this went out over the air on the Spanish news. I think it was a local affiliate over there. And this was just filmed off of TV. But this is gangster.
So, yeah, this is... there's a UPS truck.
My favorite is you're going to hear the Cuban ladies in the background.
People that are armed and dangerous, and they've shot. Okay, so here they are. Here they.
Bow! He's shooting out of the truck. Bow! And then they just light the truck up.
Oh wow! Look, you can see the bullet holes.
Oh yeah!
Pop, pop, pop. Oh, that is a Cuban too.
I know. Yeah. This was local.
Oh shit! Is the guy on top of him the hostage?
I don't know.
Because if the hostage was in the middle, right?
Yeah, I would think the guy probably trying to climb out.
Yeah, that's
the guy on the bottom is the UPS driver. The way he's dressed, he was trying to climb out. I think. I might be wrong. Wait for it.
Salió corriendo uno.
One went running.
See, this is why too. And I go, and Royce goes, they're definitely Cuban. I told Royce about this clip last night, and I'm like, bro, they're definitely Cubans. Like, I've been around enough in my lifetime now that if you put me in a room with old people of any, like, you know, sort of like still maintained culture, I can always pick up on it. I could be like, oh, those are some, you know, that they could be like, but yeah, that was definitely, I could just hear their reactions. Oh, it was making me laugh. That was rough though, man.
Wow, man. That is really, really rough.
Welcome to Florida.
Ooh. Remember, guys, only cops
are allowed to murder people.
Yeah. The only cops are allowed to have guns out there. Man, that was, look, even if they were firing first, what about all the other people? Like, that's what I'm thinking of.
You get no say.
Right, exactly.
You don't get any say in how it gets handled, which I get it. I'm not supposed to be running down and playing offensive coordinator at a school shooting for the police. I get that they don't understand. I don't understand the tactics. But if we're all in traffic, I think we should get a say as citizens as to whether or not the cops can just unload 200 rounds into rush hour traffic.
What should the cops have done when the suspect started shooting? I don't know, man. I'm not saying I know the answer, but what I'm saying is that not that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, just, I don't know, somehow not kill two civilians would be probably the way I'd try to go about it.
This is, this is fucking nuts. Well, like I said, I don't know what they should have done, but it definitely this isn't it.
Everyone should have machine guns.
All right. I like where you're going with this.
Seriously.
Everybody?
At least unrestricted ARs and AKs that you can flip to full auto.
That sounds fair.
That I'll take that over, because I know some people are like, I want, you know, fucking 50 cal mounted machine guns. Look, I get it. I understand we can't have everything. But just unrestricted full auto AKs, I would settle for that, because that's, if everyone everyone just carried them around. Yeah, well,
16,
not children.
16 and up.
13 and up.
Oh, but you're going really low. 13 and up?
We know in my day we used to bring our hunting rifle to school when I was 8 years old.
You sound like somebody who has a beard in their pickup truck making a CRTV video.
Yeah, you lived in North Dakota. There was one other kid in your classroom, and you were all white. Shut up. It was 1952.